so that's absolutely fine. A bit disappointing, but at least he was going to continue on the weekend. You can see very visibly there the teams in the drivers that have chosen to move from they're in the crocodile, as it were, battling away for positions. They do say that if you get it right, it is very beneficial. Some of the drivers say that they make use out of it, others are not so sure. Some of them are sure very unsure. But it looks very interesting, it looks very good. To some people it doesn't, but it's a nice new bit of technology, so a lot of drivers and teams are clambering to use it just to see if it gives them any performance benefits at all. You'll notice the ones who either haven't chosen to bring it with them this weekend or have used it and chosen to deviate back to the old system by virtue of the fact that they have not got it. But both of the front row men, Joe Turney and Sean Butcher, have both got the new Nassau panel. So we'll see how the drivers cope with this in their first race of the weekend. Joe Turney and Sean Butcher from the front, Marceau and Ravenscroft, Mulsdale and Waldschmidt, Van Pelt and Bayers, Valtonen and Akabi, Wager and Kiel, Imbourg and Knutson, Hayes and Giraud, Stahauer and Bayert, Kossetang and Hebet, Bayert, Kalteren, Hezemans, Buehler, Bachera, Belair, Brandon and Donich. It's going to be a really interesting battle from the start of this race as they come off of the turn. They will get into the tram lines. It looks like it's going to be a faster start than we saw in the previous race. They're getting up to speed. Straight out the blocks, and into third place has come Vincent Marceau. So Marceau is up there. No, that's Waldschmidt. And Waldschmidt up the inside already. Waldschmidt through to second position. What a start from Henry Waldschmidt. One is in the gravel, and one of them is on the infield as they come through. So they're going to be told about the yellow flags as they come through this first time by. Out in front is Joe Turney, who leads the way. Second is Waldschmidt. Third Ravenscroft. Marceau, Van Pelt, Mulsdale, Valtonen, and Danny Pearl. So they come through turn 2, yellow flags waving, and there are tears that has not come through. Well, we haven't seen Eduardo Kossetang come through, but I'm guessing it must be him. Look at Bayard. No, Kossetang is about to come through. I think Kossetang is coming to the pit with damage to his car. The others who are involved in that one, by the way, we've had Lena Buehler, Evan Bachera and Gustav Brandin have all come through slowly. Kossetang has brought the car into the pits to retire, and then it's Nicolas Bayard and Leon Hezemans who have ended up off the circuit there at turn 1. Kylian Belair, I don't think, took the start, and Camille Donich likewise. So problems there, or either that or they had some difficulties, but there's a big problem for the start of the race for those guys, unfortunately. Sean Butcher makes his play to move up back on the inside, and he's going to battle there beautifully as he got through. That's another place made up, I think, for Butcher. So that puts him up the order into 5th position. Yes, he's through, and that's a bit of a challenge there further back as they squabble away. That's Ben Fayers and Isaac Valtonen, I think that is, scrapping away for position. Angus Mulsdale in the mix there as well. Several drivers compromised by that first corner incident. Kossetang and Donich have retired from the race, I believe, as to Turney leads the way now. He's going toe-to-toe with a man who's got all the way up to the top of motorsport. He was a test driver for the Toyota Formula 1 season. Right there in second position. So battling away with Joe Turney. I wonder if that's going to turn into something pretty nasty, but I hope not, as all of the drivers sweat away and battle tooth and nail, apex after apex. And out in front, it is still Joe Turney who leads the way from Henke Waldschmidt and Clayton Ravenscroft. The fastest in the second sector, Sean Butcher. Fastest in the first sector is currently Felix Varga, the Belgian racer. Coming across the line once again. Joe Turney gets the fastest lap until then. Van Pelt.
T'as vu pendant 2 jours comment j'ai arrêté. Ensuite, je vais prendre des
Position because Eli Goldstein using the psychological upper hand here to try and keep everybody back. But he's rather hoping that everybody can now catch up to him and get themselves in position. It's going to be a bit of a hectic start as all of the drivers try to get themselves into position. And I wonder if this is actually going to end up being a false start. Eli Goldstein is going quite quickly here, so they're having to hold up a long way. Goldstein wants to get the race underway. Well, the outside for the lead goes Joe Turney. Absolutely spectacular from Turney. Round the outside of Goldstein. Goldstein's going to get mugged here on the inside. Van Sputteren's gone through in a second place. Here they come over the line. Blatten, Hansen, Alexievas and Imbourg. Still battles in turn 2, and there's a little bit of jostling for position. That's one of the unique racing cars here. Now again, that's Professor Alexievas trying to move up in position on 2 as he's going to back with the 289 car. And so back away, Alexievas trying to come through on the Irishman Ross Hayes for Pierce Sexton Racing as they swabble away there in turns 3 and 4. But a really interesting battle for this second heat for the senior X30 drivers. And out in front it is Joe Turney keeping the power and the pace round the outside. I thought there were far too many marbles on that outside line to make the lead come to him, but clearly he was able to squeeze Eli Goldstein just a little to that inside line and keep the pace on. And look at him go. Joe Turney is fighting for him. One area he don't forget in front of his teammate. Van Sputteren is nudged there, down at the back. Van Sputteren given a little bit of a nerve there, and 2 more drivers have made up places. That was Angus. Going to mark it with first blood in the X30 Super Shifters earlier on, going to his Swiss rival Kevin Luddy. I can now confirm that magnificent and majestic start that you saw earlier on. It has been reiterated to me that was a jump start from Philip Seaver. I'm not at all surprised, but what a spectacular sight it was nonetheless. Unfortunately, he does have to be penalised for it, but also a rather unfortunate frog that decided to wing its way onto the course during practice. It's fatal, unfortunately. Middle up and down, Joe Turney from the front of the grid. Ruben Moyer and Vincent Marcel in the second row. The small tail on the third with Leeds battle we have in prospectors here. Very fast. His third race of the day, and I think for him, if my maths is correct, that is going to be the penultimate of his heats. He's certainly not going to have to go out again until the very tail end of the day, about 7 o'clock local time, Joe Turney, because he's already done 3 races in relatively quick succession, so he can have a bit of a breather now after this one. Here on Telemundi Media, live and in full as well. So the carts are in the tram lines, they're going up through the throttle. This is going to be a fast start, and it's a great start from Ruben Moyer as he makes his way through on the inside of Joe Turney. Turney's going to get squeezed here because through on the inside line as well is going to come Jordan Brown-Nutley. Brown-Nutley through the 3rd position, turning down to P4. So already a very hectic start. And as they come through to 3, there's one car riding under the back of another and into the gravel. Got 2 cars up there at turn 3. For 4th position, that is a change as Moyer's going to lose 2 places. So through into 4th goes Valton, and through into 5th goes Angus Morsdale. Moyer's going to try and come back at him. Good enough, Angus Morsdale.
Yeah.
Tu t'énerves pas.
Moi, ce que j'aimerais bien voir, c'est faire ça sur la piste, Milan, avec les autres, avec les adversaires.
Off the grid in the KCM CRG with Morgan Porter in the M Sport car alongside him. on that front row of the grid. And in third place, Mark Kimber. So two of the top names in this championship who have not had the best of luck coming into this weekend, but Morgan Porter and Mark Kimber definitely favourites to move further forward. German X30 champion Jan-Philipp Springhoff has had a very bad luck weekend thus far and finds himself down in 21st on the starting grid for the HGB kart team, alongside the RSD karting driver Nicolas Bayard. Rafael Villagomez, the Mexican, is in the RSD karting team there in 23rd on the grid from Harry Barlow, the British superstar. You can just see him there actually in the middle of your picture, standing next to Rufus Hunt. If you're a good 18 or 19 drivers at one stage in the race in contention for that top 6. It's going to change big style, but it's important for a couple of the drivers, particularly the likes of Morgan Porter and Mark Kimber. If they get an opportunity to be in first and second, they know each other well, they've raced each other many times, they'll want to try and get away from the rest of the pack, break clear, and then book their places no matter where each of them finishes. They won't matter too much by the time it can go to that stage, but it's going to be very tricky to picture how it's going to go. But 6 drivers are going to go through from this 34 driver grid, so it's going to be busy and it's going to be frenetic, as well as the great battles we have in the front end. Senior X30 second chance heat. It's up to you guys to prove us wrong. Can you do a better job than that? I was talking to Steve Gordon and Markey this morning of the Super Shifters, as he said, I still can't believe the X30 Mini was the best race of the weekend thus far. I joked with him, well, why don't you let Kevin Moody through a few times and then spice it up a bit more. He didn't seem to like that idea somehow. So here they come. A rolling start for the second chance heat in Senior X30s. 33 drivers going to battle. 6 of them can go through to the pre-final. Let's find out who's in an early lead. And they're in second position. We still have a good chance further forward. The rest of them coming with both Mark Kimber and Carlos Serral Martin. So he's there in third position. Porter, I think it is in fourth place in the M-Sport karting car. So once again, the drivers on that inside line getting a really good start in comparison to those on the outside line, as we've seen several times here this weekend already. But Thomas Imbourg is your leader. Kimber in second The toughest battle of the weekend is about to get underway. The Senior X30 final here from Mariembourg. It's been an incredible road to get to this point. 70 drivers have been battling tooth and nail over the course of the weekend, and now we are ready for action in the Senior X30. Drivers, deep in conversation. We've spoken to Joe Turner once already, so I'll see who else we can have a word with. Let's have a chat with Henke Waldschmidt on the third row of the starting grid. Henke, really good to see you. Here he goes. Off by the end of the race as well. Ben Fayers and Tom Fleming unfortunately didn't come home on the last lap either. Henke taking the victory from Elie Goldstein and Felix Wager, Baker Ravenscroft and Joe Turney fourth.